Alright, this is lesson 2.3 of comparing and scaling. This time we're looking at scaling ratios. It's been a few weeks since I recorded a video, so I'm not 100% sure what happened in the last lesson, but this one does follow along pretty closely. The no objective from this lesson is how to scale ratios up and down. So to show that, we're going to scale ratios up to suit our needs, mostly up, not so much down. So, let's take a look. The topic of today's lesson is talking about a zoo. So Ming works at the Denver Zoo's primate house. She needs to mix special food of blue nuggets and red nuggets depending on how old the chimpanzees are. So, baby chimps need 2 cups of blue nuggets and 3 cups of red nuggets. Young adult chimps need 6 cups of blue nuggets and 4 cups of red nuggets, and older chimps need 4 cups of blue nuggets and 2 cups of red nuggets. So, as you can see, different age of the chimp, the different combination, the different ratio of blue nuggets and red nuggets. So, first part of this is about the baby chimps. So answer the following questions regarding baby chimps. Complete the table below. So this table says dietary needs of baby chimps. We got number of baby chimps everywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we jump to 10. So we need to figure out how many cups of blue nuggets, how many cups of red nuggets, and how many total cups of food to fill in this table for all these spots. So one baby chimp we pull from this ratio. One baby chimp needs 2 blue and 3 red. So 2 blue, 3 red. If we add those up, we get 5 total cups of food to feed a baby chimp. To feed 2 baby chimps, well, we just multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6, and now we jump to 10 total cups of food. If you notice, we have a pattern here, so I can fill it in. So I go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The 12 is wrong, even though you might think to just continue the pattern. Well, that's because this is continuing a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, but 5 jumps to 10. So we need to jump as well. Anytime your given pattern jumps, the rest of the patterns need to jump. So if every chimp needs 2 cups of blue food and we have 10 chimps, then we have 10 times 2. So that equals 20. Alright, so now let's take a look at the cups of red food. Each chimp needs 3 cups of red food. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and then it jumps again. So once again, we do 10 times 3 equals 30. So on this very bottom pattern, we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then it jumps again. So now we do 10 times 5 equals 50. So we just scaled this ratio up. We took the normal ratio and scaled it up for 1 chimp, 2 chimps, 3 chimps, 4 chimps, 5 chimps, and 10 chimps. So let's see if we can utilize this information. Number 2 says if 48 cups of red nuggets are in the food dish, how many cups of blue nuggets are needed? So, remember we talked about before part to part versus part to whole and setting up proportions. So 48 cups of red nuggets, how many cups of blue nuggets? So X blue, because we don't know how many, when there is 48 red, equals, now I need to take a look. Any of these ratios work. 2 over 3, 4 over 6, 6 over 9, 8 over 12, any of these work. Smallest numbers are normally easiest. So 2 blue, since blue is on top, and 3 red. Okay, this is the proportion. The proportion is set up. Now we need to solve it using cross multiply and divide. So 48 times 2 equals 96. Now we divide by 3. 96 divided by 3 equals 32. So X equals 32 blue. Okay, now let's move on to number 3. If 125 total cups of food are in the food dish, how many cups of red nuggets are needed? So once again, we put the X now with the red because that's how much we need to know. And on the bottom we have 125 total. So the other fraction we need to pull from red and total out of our table. Red is this row, total is this row. So any of these pairs of numbers is okay. However, smaller is better in this point. So 3 red over 5 total. Now, just a quick reminder, if we look at problem number 4, blue and red, those are different. That is part to part. Red and total, that is part to whole. So we need a part to whole, red and total. Now that we have this, we go ahead and cross multiply. 125 times 3 equals 375. By the way, most of the time I'm doing this math in my head because we aren't really covering how to multiply or divide just now. Sometimes you'll see me actually divide it or multiply it out. Those are problems that I just cannot do in my head. So I mark them down, just for the clarification there. So go ahead and divide 375 divided by 5. This is one that I can't really quite do that in my head. So I'm going to maybe do that way up here where I actually have some room. 375 divided by 5 does not go into 3. Goes into 37 7 times, which is 35. Subtract, I get 25. 5 goes into 25 5 times. I get 25. No remainder. So 75. So X equals 75 cups of red when we have 125 total cups. So congratulations, all the baby chimps were fed correctly with their correct ratios. Now we need to go ahead and move on to young adult chimps. All the babies grew up to be young adults. So answer the following questions regarding young adult chimps. Question number 1. What is the ratio of blue nuggets to red nuggets? Well, this is just asking us to repeat this information. 6 cups of blue, 4 cups of red. So 6 cups blue to 4 cups red. That is a ratio. Using the word to makes that a ratio. So question number 2, what ratio of blue nuggets and red nuggets will feed 21 chimps? Well, 6 cups of blue feeds 1 chimp. So 6 times 21. 126 cups blue. And now we also do 21 times 4 because we have 21 chimps, not just 1. So I get 84 cups red. So 126 cups of blue to 84 cups of red. All I did is multiply by 21. 6 times 21, 4 times 21. All right, question or part C. Answer the following questions regarding older chimps. So not too hard to keep the young adult chimps alive. Now we've moved on to older chimps. What fraction of the food is blue nuggets? What fraction of the food is red nuggets? Well, it didn't ask us for the ratio again, but let's go back and remind ourselves. Older chimps take 4 cups of blue and 2 cups of red. So I'm just going to put it here. 4 blue, 2 cups of red. Question is, what fraction of the food is blue nuggets? Notice it isn't saying nothing about red. It's saying of the food is blue nuggets. So we know we have 4 blue, but when it says of the food, we need the total. So total is 4 plus 2 equals 6 total cups of food. So 4 blue cups of food out of 6 total cups of nuggets. Of the food means total, means it is part to whole. Once again, we have of the food is red nuggets, so that's just the opposite. 2 cups of red over 6 total. Once again, part to whole. All right. Baby chimps grew up to be young adult chimps, grew into the nice ripe old age for older chimps. Let's try a couple practice problems. Use the table below to answer questions number 1 through number 3. Participation in sports, or in team sports at Springbrook Middle School. We have the sport, basketball, football, soccer, and totals. We have girls and boys separated into each sport. Question number 1, in which sport do boys most outnumber girls? So when there are more boys than girls, well, it looks like basketball and football, there are more boys than girls. In basketball, boys are 80 minus 30, 50 more than girls. In football, well, we have 60 minus 10, once again, 50. So even though the numbers are slightly different, in each sport they outnumber girls by 50. So that's what we're going to say. So the boys outnumber girls in basketball and football by 50 in each. So it's tied. Number 2, in which sport do girls most outnumber boys? Well, there is only one sport where girls outnumber boys, so that's easy. Let's give them a number 2, 120 minus 85. Borrow, make that a 10, make that a 1. 11 minus 8 is 3, so 35. So in soccer, girls outnumber boys by 35. So just a simple subtraction for each one. Let's see what question number 3 says. Oh, we actually have questions through 4. So question number 3, what percent of the boys play each sport? Oh, and then question number 4, what percent of the girls play each sport? So we have a total number of 160 girls and 225 boys. So if we move on, basketball is 80 out of 225. So 80 out of 225 boys. I need to turn this into a percentage, so before I do that, I'm going to simplify it, make it much easier. I'm going to divide each the top and the bottom by 5. So on the top, I get 16. Bottom, I get 49. Do I get 49? No, I don't get 49. I'm going to do that division. See, try to do it in my head. I mess up. Divide by 5. I get 4. Which is 20. Subtract. I get 25. I get 45, not 49. So 45. Now I have 16 over 45. That's a bit easier. So let me go ahead and try that. Do that division to turn it from a fraction into a decimal into a percent. So 16 divided by 45. Does not go into 1, does not go into 16. It goes into 160. Well, if I count up, we have 90, 135, 180. So it's 1, 2, 3, which is 135. Subtract. I get 25. Bring down a 0. 250, so I need to go higher. 225. 270, well that's too high, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 225. Subtract, I get 25 again, so it looks like the 5 is going to repeat. So I have 0.355. 5 is repeating, move the decimal over twice, 35.5 repeating percent. Alright, so 35.5 repeating percent for that one. Now let's go ahead and look at football. So if I go back, I see that football is 60. So we have 60 out of the same 225. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify it before I do anything else. If I divide the top and the bottom by 5, well, the top turns into 14. the bottom turns into, wait, not 14, 12. I can't do math in my head today. So top turns into 12, the bottom still turns into 45. Now we can simplify it more. I'm going to divide by 3, top turns into 4, bottom turns into 15. That's going to be easier. So, once again, 4 divided by 15 does not go into 4, goes into 4D twice, which is 30. Subtract, I get 1, 0, bring down a 0. Well, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 90. I get 10, bring down a 0, just another that. So looks like it's going to be a repeating 6. So 26.6% repeating. 26.6 repeating percent play football. Now, soccer's the last one. It is 85 out of 225. So 85 out of 225. Going to simplify that. 85 divided by 5 is 17. Bottom turns into 45 still. Now, you see what this overall is doing every time. You just have to divide. So, to save some time, I'm going to use a calculator for these last few. So, 17 over 45, I do 17 divided by 45, and then we just write this out so you know what I'm typing into the calculator. Equals 0.37 repeating. 0.377 repeating. So our percentage is 37.7 repeating percent. Just to double check these, all these should add up to 100%. Given that we have a lot of repeats going on, it might just get close. So let's check it. So 35.5, whoops, 35.5 plus 26.6 plus 37.7. 99.8, so yeah, it got really close. Rounding is going to take that off by a little bit, but it should up to 100, give or take a couple hundredths. Alright, number 4, what percent of the girls play each sport? So we're just going to repeat all of these steps again. So let me go back. Girls are 30, 10, and 120 out of 160. So first one is 30 out of 160. I'm going to simplify this fraction. First, I'm going to get rid of the zeros. Now I have 3 over 16. Once again, since it's the same step over and over and over again, I'm going to use a calculator. So in the calculator, I'm going to type in 3 divided by 16. And that's going to be 3 divided by 16 equals 0.1875. 0.1875. Move the decimal over twice. I get 18.75%. Just realizing that the calculator is probably cut off. You can't see over here. You can only see over here. I'll try and stop from doing that for the last couple problems. So I'll just put it up there. Football. Football was 10 out of 160. So not many played football. So 10 over 160. Now simplify, get rid of the zeros. We have 1/16. So 1 divided by 16. Let's see what that equals. 1 divided by 16 equals 0.0625. Percent is 6.25. And last but not least, soccer. Definitely not least. They have 120 out of 660. So 120 over 160, get rid of the zeros. Now I have 12 over 16. I can divide by 4, so I get 3 over 4. 3 over 4 should be one that people have memorized. 3 over 4 is 75%. It is 3/4, so that's it for that. All right, let's quickly just go back over the lesson, make sure everything's filled in correctly. Lesson 2.3, scaling ratios, how to scale ratios up and down, scale ratios up to suit our needs. So we talked about the zoo. We fed the baby chimps all correctly. They grew up to be young adult chimps. Then they grew up to be older chimps. Moved on to a practice problem talking about team sports in middle school and did some percentage calculations. So this is the end of lesson 2.3. Up next is lesson 3.1 in comparing and scaling.